100,000 on a beat.
All right, welcome into the Berkeley Football Coaches Show along with Coach Eric Lodge. I am Lane Walford. Thanks to Stokes Chevrolet, as always, for being our title sponsor. Coach, 30-22 win over Stratford. It seemed a lot more comfortable with a few minutes to go than the final score ended up being, but bottom line, we get to 1-0 in region play.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the game, we found ourselves in a comfortable situation, and then with 91 seconds left, proved not to be such a comfortable situation. Kudos to Stratford for hanging in there and fighting. That's something that we've been the benefactors of on the positive side, especially last season. Fortunately, we were able to hang in there and turn it back on when we needed to and come out on top.
So Stags win 30-22, fourth win of the season, first win in region play, only game in region play so far. So we'll go ahead and go to the first half highlights of the Stags versus the Knights, and really a low-scoring first half here, Coach. Stratford with the ball first here. Yeah,
they came out, they put a nice opening drive together, converted some big third downs, got the ball down in here tight. You see it's first and 10, the ball's about the 14-yard line. They run a little inside zone play, and pick up about 5. So, to them, to their credit, they come out, they're moving the ball well, and they've kind of got things moving here.
Really good quarterback we saw the other night, Jake and Davis, really just could do both, could throw and run.
Yeah. Very tough to deal with. They've got a really good running game too. Their O-line is physical. Their running back does a good job and turns out yards and fights for extra yards. Like I said, kudos to those guys. We come out here, we set our front wrong. We'd like to see Jihad, Sneed 6 there, kind of square that up a little bit more. But we're able to get them out on the ground and fight another down.
Yeah, so Stratford here inside the 10-yard line, and really this is huge coming up to be able to keep them not only out of the end zone, but just off the scoreboard altogether.
Yeah, this is the next play. We bring a little zone dog pressure off the edge to their pass strength, probably our defensive stalwart, Marcus Henderson, is able to come in there and corral the back and, force them into like a third and medium situation.
Yeah, thought the defense, I say this every week like a broken record, thought the defense played well again, and really a lot of the same dudes. There's Marcus Henderson, but thought 55 was flying around the football, 14 was flying around the football, number 1 was making plays as normal, Jehovah was making plays. It seemed like they were playing well again, at least to the last couple of minutes, and just some crazy things happened.
Yeah, we got a lot of good talent on the defense. Like our biggest thing is to stay locked in and mentally do what you're supposed to do. Play your assignment, be in the gap you're supposed to be in, and cover the guy you're supposed to cover. And when we do those things, we can shut down any team.
Huge play right there on 3rd and goal to keep Davis from getting into the end zone. Here's a replay. Yeah,
we're very cognizant of Jaken's feet here. He's got a multitude of ways to beat you. He can run and throw. So here, we've got a little quarterback spy going on. Just make sure, hey, we're going to twist up front, flush him out of the pocket. When he goes to run, we need to have our best guy stand there waiting on him.
Yeah, because he's so athletic. I mean, there's only a few that are going to be able to match up with him athletically and speed-wise.
That's right, and you'll see some other plays later on in the night where he brings it down, and we're just unable to corral him.
So here's Stratford trying to take the early lead, and Stags are fortunate there that the field goal is no good.
Yeah, very fortunate. I thought their operation here was pretty good. Sometimes the kicker just misses.
Yeah. So the Stags will take over after this last replay. of the missed field goal and couldn't really tell there. It looked like it was a good snap and a good hold, just kind of hooked it. It is high school kicker, so you can't, I mean.
That's right.
You expect.
We're all dealing with them.
Yeah, I mean, you expect the SEC guys and certainly the NFL guys to make those, but in high school, you just can't ever tell. And here's Davis again running around, but a lot of good pressure by your front four.
Yeah, they get the ball back. We went 3 and out on our first possession. Really kind of a disastrous, first drive for us. Luckily, we get a decent little punt off and put them back on their side of the 50. But I thought the defense did a great job of kind of standing up and just putting the ball down and playing here.
Yeah. Which I said front four, but I guess really G. Sneed there is one of the main ones, one of your linebackers getting in there.
Yeah, we're bringing like a little middle zone dog up here. And you just see these guys swarming, and having energy and fighting to the ball.
Number 6 was around all night long. He made one of the biggest plays of the night there in the fourth quarter that we'll see later. So still scoreless here with just 2 minutes to go, as you can see in the first quarter.
There we go, 1st and 10. They run a little zone read play. Andre Williams here, 18, makes a really good play. He cuts down. I'd like to see him stay a little bit more square and more flat to the line. But he's a really good athlete. Luckily, he's able to kind of stick his hand out there and get just enough jersey to slow Jakin down and wait for the troops.
Yep, so now 3rd down here is the first quarter. Winds all the way down for the Knights. And Andre again.
Yep. Come out again. We're in an odd front. Again, we're being cognizant of Davis's feet. We always want to have somebody accounted for him because he can pull it down and hurt us. So that's where you see G. Sneed right here, spying the quarterback. But our 3 defensive linemen that we have down there, they do a good job of disrupting the pocket, and making it tough on him.
So now here we are in the second quarter, and Stags on offense, Henry with the ball.
We come out here, we saw that they were trying to take our screens away on the outside. So instead of blocking that guy or really just trying to fight against, his force, we're just going to pick up and throw a little spot right there.
The fellow 10th grader Jonathan Mitchell with the catch.
Come out here on 1st and 10, we'll run a little zone read play. We're reading that defensive end there. Henry, I think, makes a really good decision reading the end, and then, does a really good job. I mean, you see how quick he is and how fast, and I think that's one thing that he's really improved on this offseason is just his speed and strength. Does a great job in the weight room, did a good job in our offseason speed and agility, and, he's a handful to deal with.
It seems like the first time I've seen that play this year. That seemed to be the one that worked on West Ashley over and over. Or was it Cane Bay, one of those games last year?
Yeah, this was
3 or 4 times.
This was Cane Bay's kryptonite last year. We've hit on it a couple times this season. We've dropped it a couple times.
All right.
But it's tough to deal with once we get it out there on the perimeter with a convoy blocking for you.
Kevin Boone with the catch and run there. Now Stags right at about the 10-yard line here. Just over 7 minutes to play in the second quarter, still no score.
Okay, we got him in a big 3rd down. Again, it's really the same play that you saw earlier on the little zone read.
Yeah.
One thing that I kind of want to highlight to you, Caden Bash's effort right here to kind of get this overhang linebacker. You'll see him come into the picture, later and cut this guy off, and you'll see it really kind of springs this run past the second level and allows Henry to get it in the end zone.
Yep. Love to see a receiver who's not scared to get out there and block.
That's right, and he's got a complete game. He's tough. He loves football, and that goes more than just running routes and catching the ball.
That's right. But I think Caden, being a senior, understands that the deadlier Henry is with his feet, the more opportunities that'll give him to catch the football.
Exactly.
So touchdown on the board for the Stags. Henry Rivers there punching it in from about 10 yards out. Here you get them on the kind of trick play, I guess, swinging gate, whatever we're going to call it here for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're just looking at numbers and, hey, if you line up right, we're going to kick it. If you don't, we'll probably steal a point there.
Yeah.
And I think that this probably end up working out in our favor. I think Stratford kind of caught themselves chasing points a little bit, and we were able to kind of open up like a decent little lead and a little more padded lead than what you would normally have.
I found it a little ironic. Before your time, legendary coach Ray Stackley with Stratford, I thought was the first one I could remember running plays like that on extra points. So here's Stratford down deep, and Jake and Davis to pile. They just push him on through there for their first score of the night.
Yeah, they get down there. I'd like to see us stand up a little bit tougher on a snake. I think our pad level, especially on the defensive line, we're just way too high to be able to kind of hold our own in there. Everybody
going to that Philadelphia Eagles tush push or whatever we're going to call it. But
yeah, back in the day, aiding the runner used to be a penalty. Now it's not.
So Stratford going for 2 and big play here, because he looked like he was just going to waltz in.
Yeah. Jehovah Williams and Marcus Henderson do a great job of stepping up and standing him up right at the goal line. Especially against a good athlete like that.
That's right.
With him running with the energy towards the goal line, you would expect him to kind of be able to plunge in and get a couple extra yards. But I think us right here just swarming to the ball and not just letting one guy make the whole play really helped out and kept him out.
So half ends, big play right there with Marcus Henderson and Jehovah cleaning it up to keep him from spinning in the last second. So 8-6 Stags at the half. Not a lot of scoring. I think you said it earlier, didn't feel like the offense was really clicking just yet there at halftime. What'd you say to the guys to try to get things moving?
Really, we saw things that we liked. I didn't like our execution up front on the O-line. We really challenged those guys to play with better technique and really to hold their own up front. And we felt like if we could do that a little bit better in the second half, that we would have a lot of success.
We'll take a quick break here from our sponsor, Stokes Chevrolet. And when we come back, second half highlights of the Stags and the Knights.
The Blitz is on. Save thousands with Stokes Chevrolet Full Out Blitz. Stokes is blitzing prices during truck season and offering up to $10,500 off new Silverados with APR financing as low as 0%. Score big with EVs. Right now, lease a new Blazer or Equinox EV starting as low as $359 a month and 0 down. Go for the touchdown with 90-day payment deferral on new vehicles. It's the Full Out Blitz happening now. Only at Stokes Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Welcome back into the Berkeley Football Coaches Show along with Coach Eric Lodge. I am Lane Walford. Stags lead 8-6 at halftime against Stratford. We'll go ahead to the second half highlights here, Coach, and a lot more scoring here in this second half.
Yeah, we moved the ball very well. We ran it real well in the second half. You see, this is our first drive, 8-6. This drive comes up empty for us, but we controlled a lot of the clock. We moved the ball really well and just had some mistakes, down in there in the red zone. But you'll see here we run a little zone read play with Henry. And he's able to pull it and get a good number of yards. I think he was really close to kind of popping this run here. We're one block away from him really springing this for a long one.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think he took six plus minutes off the clock on this drive. So So you see the blitzing linebacker, and Henry goes right by him here. I don't know how many yards Henry ended up with on the ground, but it was a huge night for him.
You see here, we're running a little power play to the right. Jehovah Williams, he runs with really, really good toughness. We think that he's been a really good balance to Bryson McGee. And doing a good job of holding it down, while some of our guys get back healthy, and Jesse Brown and Caden Foxworth.
Yeah, so the Stags come up empty, and then it takes Stratford just 3 plays to go right down the field, and capped by this Jakin Davis 28-yard run, I think it was.
Yeah, so, here I thought that we just came out probably too relaxed on the defensive side of the ball. Their first run, we misaligned the front. Our nose guard just gets caught up being too much on a full man of the offensive line instead of just being half a man. When that ball bends back in his gap, he should disengage and make the play. So we really challenged those guys when they came off the field here to step up, but I think that they locked in for the rest of the half. All the way up until about the 2-minute situation, but
another big play right here, though, because as you said, they're chasing points, and G. Sneed making another big play.
Yep. So they come here. Good concept for them against man defense. We're bringing so much pressure that they're not able to really set that play up the way they would like to.
Yeah. So the Knights up 12-8 here in the third quarter, and in my opinion, the biggest play of the night right here. Bryson McGee.
So here we come. We run a little counter play to the left. And Bryson McGee, good for him. He's got great vision. And then you see that home run speed right there on the edge.
Yeah. He and Jehovah both ran extremely hard, 2 totally different type of backs, but they both ran extremely hard. And I just think you're taking so much time off the clock, but come up empty. Stratford scores in 3 plays. They've got the momentum, and you take it right back in 1 play right here. I just thought it was huge.
Did a great job. The O-line obviously does a good job. You see Logan Gaskins running his butt off down there to try to play all the way to the whistle. It's just a great job out of those guys.
You kicked the extra point to make it a 3-point game. So now it's 15-12. You got the ball back, and McGee's back at it.
Yep. Again, right. Great job by the offensive line. You see that surge off the left side there, and then great job out of Bryson McGee having the vision and kind of winding this back, following that guard up in the hole.
Yeah, he doesn't need much of a crease. To get through there.
That's a pretty big crease right there.
Yeah. So quick.
And I think, number 6 for them does a great job of getting himself back in this play here, because he's actually walked out in between our slot receiver and our end man on the line of scrimmage there. So, really good play out of him.
And here's Jehovah. And I don't know how many Stratford Knights tackled him Friday night, but they're probably still feeling it today because he just runs extremely hard and is going to punish whoever is going to bring him down.
Yeah, again, and has good vision. The O-line, you see there, like that is a huge hole.
Yep.
You'll really see it here in the end zone shot like that. I could drive my truck through that.
73 out pulling.
That's right. And then with a big old back like that's running downhill,
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be standing in front of that guy.
So here we are, early fourth quarter, first play of the fourth quarter, and Henry to the house.
And we come out here, we decide we want to pick up an extra guy. We thought our last couple of runs were 1 player short of busting a real long one. And we basically just run a quarterback power here. And you see Bryson McGee get up here. We got an extra guy in the hole. And then, Henry Rivers, he knows what to do with that thing in the open field.
So you get it, you make it 21-12 with that touchdown, going for 2 here.
So we come out here, we're on the swinging gate. They do a better job of lining up initially. I think we really throw them off when we shift into the other one. Kind of put that corner in a bind there of, hey, do I set the edge and come up and tackle the quarterback, right? Or, do I stay in coverage? So
Jehovah hadn't played quarterback against them in a few years, so they might have forgotten he was left-handed.
Right.
So big 2-point conversion there, makes it 23-12 Stags as we just start the fourth quarter here. Felt like you had all the momentum at this point, and this even more so here. Jehovah with another bruising run.
Yeah, we put another nice drive together, running the ball, and then, Jehovah's able to kind of plunge it in there. You see that surge from the O-line, up there into the goal line, Cameo by yours truly, Lane Wofford, in there, getting after the referees.
Yeah, I thought they could have stopped some of that stuff, some of the mouthing the other night, but talk about that later. So 30-12 Stags with less than 5 minutes to go, and I think everybody thought this one was over, but we should have known better after some of the games last year.
Yep. So, and I really like the defense here. I think the defense has a good final drive of the game up until that 1:31 left. We're able to get good pressure on Jake in here. Stratford puts a nice drive together. They get it down in the red zone. We actually end up stopping these guys at the 1, which you'll see later. But I like the way we're competing here. This is 2 good football teams playing. Obviously, they're going to make some plays, but that's just kind of the way football goes.
Yeah, kudos to them and Coach Denny McDaniel. They certainly didn't quit.
Here we go again. We're bringing a little zone dog, trying to make it happen fast. You see good defense. This is good defense meets good offense. They've got a good little plan here for what they're trying to do. And then the ball goes in bounces in our favor this time. You see Marcus Henderson does a good job out here kind of matching and walling this receiver right here, making it tough on them.
Yep. You said they really played well all night long, and as crazy as it got, if they do score on this drive, who knows how things end up. That was very close to being 6 the other direction.
Yeah, we end up dropping an interception earlier on this drive too. Jihad and drops 1. We have 2 golden opportunities here to really just end the game on a high note and get out of there. We need to work on being a little bit more opportunistic. I mean, a quarterback can't throw you a softer ball than that. So
here they are on the 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. Big stop. I can't make out the number, but I'm gonna guess who it is. Just because he seems to make big play after big play all season long.
Do a great job here, as a defense, like we talked about, just getting downhill, and you guessed it, it's 24 right there, wrapping his legs up, but then everybody else just kind of coming in and continue to play and stop the back's momentum.
Yeah.
And keeping the ball out of the end zone.
Yep. So we stop them on the 1. They end up getting a safety to cut it to 30-14, and here we have to kick off to them after the safety. But only 1:21 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, 1:21. We kick off. They get it down past the 50. Obviously, anytime you give up a safety, that they're going to have really good field position.
Yeah.
If they would have ended up, it probably would have worked out and been a little bit more comfortable of a game if we wouldn't have gave up a safety there and they would have scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can't tell the defense, hey, we're going to let them score here. But that safety really ends up making it to where it's a 2-score football game and they're just down 16, you know, instead of being down, you know, multiple scores. So, you know, us giving up the safety, giving them the ball, this is what really hurts. You know, not that they have it, but a minute 21 and you let them score so fast. You know, I think really, you know, as a defense, hey, they might come down and move the ball. We might concede some yards, but we're going to try to bleed slow, right, and make them chew clock. The worst thing that can happen to us is they come out here on the first play and score on a touchdown, you know, coming right out.
Yeah, great play call. Slipping the back out of the backfield there. I don't know if you quite call it a wheel route. I guess you would. Quarterback selling it, going the other way.
Yeah, they do a good job. You see 6 there, Snead. He's really responsible for that guy. And he goes that way, but then it's just kind of, oh, well, they faked him the ball. He's not getting it. Great execution out of them. You know, I would like to see us being a little bit different of a defense there structurally, you know, to kind of protect those backers a bit, but, you know, it is what it is.
So they go for 2 and get it, cut it to 30-22, and this is actually the second onside kick.
Yeah, their first onside, they called offsides. I think, you know, if you go and you look at this one, they're offsides again on this one. I think it's probably one of the worst rules in football that you can't decline in offsides.
Because Caden Bash scooped that ball, and that was not an easy one that he scooped. But here they are. They get all the way down inside the 5-yard line with 10 seconds to go. And this certainly one of the plays of the night here.
Yep, they move it down here. It's second down. You know, so they've got another couple shots in the end zone here. You know, luckily we're able to get home really fast to the quarterback there. You know, I think they've got a decent little design here, little trickeration, you know, fake dive. But I think that we've got everything covered pretty well on the back end. I'd like to see Jehovah Williams being a little more phased with the tight end here and keep his eyes locked in right on the tight end, not so much in the backfield. I still think that he makes that play, but you know, luckily Jihad Snead's there. We don't have to, you know for certain.
So here's the last play of the game, 4th down. You get a lot of pressure on him that creates this here.
Yep, get a lot of pressure. I think there's a ton of holding calls here that really just kind of get ignored.
Which is surprising considering the number of flags we saw on the night.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the guys in blue definitely had a lot of holdings called on them, and I don't think the guys in white had one the whole night, but you see about 3 or 4 right there. But luckily we go up, we attack the ball, you know, and it ends up in our guys' hands.
There's that man again, Marcus Henderson. Hey, you get 24 for a reason around here. And not that he hadn't been showing it all along, but he certainly showed it Friday night why he's wearing it.
Certainly. You know, we definitely understand and adhere to that tradition.
That's right.
So our dude on defense gets 24.
That's right. So the Stags win 30-22. If you didn't see the game, you wouldn't have really known what to think. But like I said, being up 30-12 there with just a couple of minutes to go, not the way you wanted it to end. But, you know, after living through West Ashley and Cane Bay last year, you wondered if the football gods weren't going to turn on us there at the end.
Yeah, you know, I told the guys after the game, you know, I thought that we really relaxed after we got the 4th down stop. And really just kind of everybody took a sigh of relief. Hey, we won the game. And it's really hard to flip that switch off and then turn it right back on. And so I was proud that we were able to kind of stand up tall there at the end because it's really easy. Like I said, it's very hard to turn it back on. But, you know, I told them, you know, if anybody knows what it's like and what play until the very end of the game can provide, you know, it's us. That's right. You know, and we've been on the positive side of that coin. Now, luckily, we're on the opposite side of the coin. You know, thankfully, we were still able to hold out and still get a win. It's a lesson that is a little bit easier to learn when you have a W at the end. You know, the pill is a little easier to swallow, but for us, as long as we're out there, we want to play to our standard and the best that we can play and not relax until there's zeros on the clock.
All right, so player of the game.
You know, my player of the game has got to go to the offensive line.
Okay.
You know, those guys in the second half, they really responded to our challenge at halftime. And you saw here in the recap that they opened up some really big running lanes and some really big holes. And we were able to really run the ball well for success. I only think we threw the ball 1 or 2 times in the second half. So it's got to go to that whole offensive line.
Yep. It helps when you have some of the running backs and the quarterback we do, but certainly they can't do it all on their own. The offensive line had a big night. So the Stags do get to 1-0, which is the most important record right now, is 1-0 in the region. Your thoughts on getting to that mark ahead of Goose Creek next week?
You know, obviously 1-0 is where you want to be, like you said. You know, beating a really good Stratford team that was our region champs last year. You know, obviously we have a good feeling, but we don't want to become complacent. We got a really big test Friday night against Goose Creek, who has really, really good talent. They execute their schemes really well. And, you know, so for us, you know, we just want to continue to do what we do and focus on ourselves and be the best version of we can be. And if we do that, you know, we like our chances.
Yeah, seems like another game on the revenge tour as far as, you know, Stratford beating you fairly easily last year. Goose Creek certainly beat us pretty easily last year. Now you get a chance for redemption because a lot of these guys are the same ones you played with last year.
Yeah, exactly. You know, last year, going through the season, we kind of knew, hey, look, some of these guys are not completely ready yet, but they're going to be our guys. They're going to be the guys that we hang our hat on, the cornerstone of our team going forward. You know, and they learned some tough lessons last year. Those guys worked really hard in the weight room to change their bodies and change their strength. And now I think we're seeing the fruits of that labor.
Hard to believe, already 6 games through the season, past the halfway mark, 1-0 in the region, and final home game coming up this Friday night against Goose Creek, senior night for your guys. So it's a big one. Last home game of the regular season, we hope.
Yeah, a little different schedule here. I've never finished with 3 straight away games on the road, but you know, your region schedule's a blind draw.
That's right.
You know, and we got the short end of that straw.
Next year it'll be 3 home games to end the season. So, Coach, best of luck against the Gators Friday night, senior night for the Stags. Try to get to 2-0 in the region. For Coach Eric Lodge, I am Lane Walford. Thanks to Stokes Chevrolet. We'll see you next week.
Go Stags.